Welcome to Rooster Radio, a broadcast dedicated to supporting and promoting local artists in the Gaston County and surrounding areas.
I don't know what just happened to me. I'm like, I had to calm him down. And I got him talking. I was like, well, what happened? He's like, well, dude, I met this chick on MySpace, and I went to her house. And he's like, we started hooking up. And next thing I know, she was on top of me in reverse cowgirl, and she started meowing like a cat.
That's so awesome.
Like,
you would say that.
It is awesome.
And my
You would be the one.
my knee jerk reaction to that was like, well, did you start barking at her? Like, I would have just started barking. And he's like, no, it fucking freaked me out. Because like she was like really into it. Like she was like doing her head like this and stuff. And I was like, I guess that's a little creepy. I don't know. Some people, I mean, I guess they call them furries now.
Did she start watching herself?
Babe, keep meowing. Oh, roof. Oh.
Are we good now?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great. And that's how we start this episode.
Great way to start this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
funny.
talking to Encre Noire. Thank you so much for 4/5 of Encre Noire. Thank you so much for being here. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Just go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll get into it.
I am CJ. I play drums.
I'm Aiden. I do vocals.
I'm Gavin, attempted guitars.
Attempted guitars. I'm David. I'm definitely attempted bass. You know,
And we're missing
Steve.
yeah.
Other guitar.
Steve.
He's always missing though.
Yeah. Lost at all times.
Sleep on the couch in the back.
And Encre Noire will be is this going to be your first headline?
No.
Second one.
Second headline? Damn it. I was kind of hoping it'd be your first headline.
It's the first headline here, though.
First
right?
headline
Yeah,
here.
still
It'll be
excited for it.
This Friday, May 3rd, get tickets. We got, how do you pronounce, is it Sway?
Sway.
Sway.
Yeah.
We got The White Horse and Caught Off Guard. Right?
Yeah.
Cute, great, sick lineup, great local bands. Really looking forward to it. And let's just start the show by talking about how the show came together. Can we do that? Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm kind of the asshole in this story, so it's true. It's true. So you guys were here a few months back, and after the show, somebody had taken a Sharpie and written shit all over the men's bathroom walls, the door in the men's bathroom. They wrote shit on the door of the
Eat shit and
sound
die.
booth.
Yeah.
And we had seen like Encre Noire was in Magic and the Sharpie in the same handwriting and stuff. So I reached out to Gavin and I was like, "What the fuck is this? What is this?" He's like, I don't know, like somebody, but without really asking you to, you guys offered to come and clean it up and paint over it, and I was really taken. I was like, wow, like that's really cool, and so I let you. I was like, yeah, come on, help us clean it up, and I knew then that I was going to make the offer to you. When you came back with that, I was like, man, these are great kids. So you guys came back and you painted over and helped me clean it up, and I thank you for that. But I wanted to give you something in return, and I offered you a Friday night headline, and you guys put this show together. So, yeah, I wasn't really trying to be an asshole, but I was really upset.
That's fair.
It's understandable.
Yeah. So thank you, and it just spoke volumes to your character. And you guys, it's no secret you're blowing up. You guys have been putting in work. And let me say right now, you guys ain't blowing up for nothing. You guys are working your asses off. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit. Go back to when Gavin joins the band, because that's when I first became aware of you. So go back to how did you get involved, and talk about the journey from there.
Well, See, it kind of started before me too with Aiden and CJ. Like, I want to talk about that.
CJ, you're the best at
Oh
telling
my
the
God, are we
story.
casting?
Okay, I guess I'll tell it.
Nobody wants
He's,
to tell the story.
he's good at
Minutes in,
telling the
already
story.
passed.
Listen to him.
So, I actually met Aiden at Emo Night. Forget which venue it was. but
It was the Black Box, right?
at Black Box.
Yeah.
So it was like the official Emo Night, the one where they can like have people up on stage, like dance to the songs and everything. And me and Aiden's favorite band is Bring Me the Horizon, and we didn't know each other at the time, but we were both on stage. Bring Me the Horizon came on. We were the only two people getting into it. Like everyone else around us was just like, bobbing their heads and everything. But me and Aiden were just like going to town, headbanging, trying to engage the crowd like we were like the front man of Bring Me the Horizon. And after that, he walks up to me and he introduces himself. We get each other's socials, and then don't speak to each other for like another month or two. And then there's a second emo night. I see him again. He's like, hey, I remember you from the last emo night. You want to hang out with me the rest of the night? So me and him hang out, and then again, a couple weeks go by. Don't even talk. It's like we only see each other at emo night. But this was actually literally the day after I got fired from my 5-year job as a barista. Aiden hits me up and he's like, hey, I'm trying to put a band together. Do you play guitar by chance? And I'm like, nope, I play drums. And he's like, well, come out and jam out with us. Like, we're just going to see what we can get put together. Like, you're welcome to come out and hang out. And so I was like, well, I don't have work anymore, so, like, nothing better to do. So, like, it was literally just, like, if I was still working, I wouldn't have even gone. But, I mean, I had no choice because I was just like, there's nothing else to do. Might as well just make the best out of it. So I go over there, play drums for him. He loves my style, so we stay in contact. And
At this point, is it just the two of you?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had like a couple other people who were coming in. It was in the Charlotte area that were like playing drums and bass and stuff, and they were both really good, but they didn't really kind of click with me and CJ personally. We have a lot of the same stylistic taste. Which funny thing is actually the song that we were on stage to was Chelsea Smile by Bring Me the Horizon, and now we cover it, and we are planning on maybe releasing that cover. A little spoiler, not too much. But anyway, back to the story is now it's kind of where Gavin comes in.
Yeah, so that kind of, y'all are existing like that for a little while, not really had anything set in stone. And so, yeah, I was with my previous band, and then kind of out of the blue got let go. And I knew pretty quickly I wanted to put something else together. So I had posted, and Aiden reached out to me. He's like, hey, here's my phone number.
Y'all didn't know each other before this?
Well, we talked a couple of times, but nothing like ever, just like acquaintances, I guess.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, I got a guy who plays drums. Here's my phone number. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk and figure something out. And, yeah, so talked to him. We met up and figured out we wanted to do this whole band. We got an early lineup put together. And pretty quickly, like, we had a couple of practices. And
I think it was like two.
yeah, two practices.
Two with you guys, and then because I live so far away, I was like, I can't afford gas right now to drive down every week.
Yeah, so you weren't even like there for the first couple of
Yeah.
practices, and we wrote "Dear Jealousy"
In 3 practices.
in 3 practices.
Yeah.
The 2
I-
practices without you, then you came and added drums.
Yep.
awful practices, by the way. Like, it was terrible. And
Yeah.
it still came together.
And yeah, that song came together super quickly, and then we just got straight into recording it.
I think it's
And-
because all of us were mad.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, we were
mad
all
about
like we were
things
putting all that
Yeah.
built up anger and energy and stuff.
into that one song.
And I think it really, just how quickly we put it out, like really surprised people, and that's kind of like how it kind of started off for us. And over time, we had lineup changes. Now David and Steve are in the band.
I could speak on that if you want. Like not much about it, just like the brief rundown is we had 2 other members who left the day before our first show. So we ended up playing our first show with 3. We almost didn't even play it.
Gavin.
It still actually went awesome.
I was really not wanting to play it because I thought it'd be a really shitty thing to do. Like our first show, like we have these people that really wanted to come out and see us, and then it's not even like the full band. But looking back, I'm really glad we did it.
Well, we also really like had no choice because we had another band drop on that show. So if we were to drop 2, it would have been 2 bands.
Oh yeah, that was You'd have really pissed off that venue owner.
So
It was actually a house show.
yeah, it was
House
a house show, but I think that's probably one of the most important shows that we ever played because it solidified us as members, and like just going on like we're gonna come through all these problems along the way, and like we just got to push through them. Like we can't just give up. And so like that show meant a lot to us just because it was like, okay, we just went through something really, really shitty, and like, but we're gonna do it anyways.
Well, for what I'm hearing so far is like, you had every reason to just say fuck it and do something different, but you've stuck to this thing. You must have known early on that there was something special. Am I right?
Absolutely. Like, I would say our relationship's developing over time. We love each other. We're like a family rather than just a band. And when Steve and David joined after that show, they just fit our styles like so well. And now it's kind of just like, damn, we want to do this for the rest of our lives, be in it together and make it a thing, if possible. But
You,
be nice,
you
yeah.
definitely can.
Yeah.
The potential's there. There's no question about it. Dave, how did you and Steve get involved?
Well, Gavin and I go way back. We had a band back in high school called Hidden Inhibitions. And
Sounds like a porno.
Right?
Hidden Inhibitions.
It was not very good.
It was
Thursday.
Metallica wannabe.
yeah, we were both Metallica wannabes. That's how we met. Like we had a free period in lunch in high school, and so every day I'd hear him just like playing every Kirk Hammett solo.
I would hang out in the band room.
Yeah.
And just on my electric guitar. I wouldn't eat lunch. I would just play guitar. The
Yeah, yeah.
entire lunch period.
And I was like, we should start a band. And then we did. And, we did that for a couple years. But anyways, we kind of went our separate ways on that,
Yeah.
Anyways, he'd reached out to me about, Encre needing a bass player. And I was involved in another project at the time. I was like, I'll do both. And so I did both for a while. And Encre was just like, in the first little while, it was a really, really good fit. So I ended up getting out of the other one. And then Steve, I dated his sister. And
You're
he's
stuck
like,
now, boy.
yeah.
If this band's going anywhere,
Yeah,
marry that girl.
That's the plan. But yeah, so Steve was like kind of interested. I couldn't tell if he was interested in getting involved or not. But
Steve is not a very. He's very chill about everything. He's very neutral.
Yeah, but my girlfriend Lily, she was trying to be like, "Hey, y'all should ask Steve." I didn't know if she was just like saying that or like Steve had like wanted that, so kind of held off for a little bit. But
Well,
but yeah.
we after this whole like thing with our first show and then the 2 guys dropping, we were gonna exist as just a 4-piece,
I
like just
forgot
one
about
guitar,
that.
and we were like. Well, for live shows, we want to have like kind of a fuller sound. So
I
why
need
don't
a
we
backup
bring in
vocalist,
like
too.
a live guitar player, like not necessarily in the band, but he talked to Steve. And
yeah, eventually I did talk to Steve, and he did want to do it. So he showed up, and he played with us, and the practice went really well. He didn't talk much, but the music was good.
Yeah.
So
And we just clicked really, really well.
Yeah.
So we just ended up bringing him on as a permanent member.
just like really quickly too.
I would say like Steve really impressed me personally because the way he writes is very similar to how I like to like vocalize, and he also is a very talented vocalist himself. So it was nice.
So now
having,
you've got somebody to kind of back you up when you
He
need
helps
it.
me a lot because like I get really tired and winded with all the jumping around and doing vocals too. So when Steve like comes in for his parts, it's a nice breather, and he still sounds like awesome every time.
Yeah.
But
Right on. I mean, you guys have. It's. Thank you for sharing your story, by the way, because it's rare that you get. You guys are catching fire right now, and it's interesting to see how it come together because you want to know that there was some struggle, right? You want to know that it didn't just happen overnight because it never does.
No.
Yeah.
And so now you've got a full lineup. You're starting to play shows. obviously there's you can take this so much further, but you're in the beginning stages of it, and you're becoming one of like the premier bands around here. Talk a little bit about, are you feeling any kind of pressure? Like, what's the ride like? Like, I tell you, let's start with this. Was there a moment where you were like, holy shit, like, we're kind of a big deal right now? Or like, did you have like a moment where like it kind of hit you all as like, this is a thing?
I think for
I would
me,
say the January 29th show at the Milestone, that I don't know what it was. That show felt surreal.
I think for me, it's seeing just the same people coming out, like, and seeing us every time we play. Like, we have like this group of people that follows us around. Like,
Yeah, you do.
The Encre Noire.
and we played like far out places. Like, I remember we played High Point once, and you know it's pretty far out from where we are, and we still had like a decent group of people come out to see us.
Yeah, from like all over. I would say for me it's probably like the same moment, CJ, or either the Slay Together Fest, because it was so cool.
Oh boy, that was
like,
wild.
That was for me, like, that was probably one of our biggest crowds, and they were just very supportive, awesome. And like, some guy told me after Slay Together, he was like, I've seen Coal Chamber live and y'all are better than Coal Chamber. And I was like, that's big shoes to fill. And at that moment I blushed. So that's kind of like the moment where I was like, I've seen Coal Chamber live. So that's kind of like, that was like one of my kid bands. So like, that to me was kind of like my surreal moment as of like, damn, people really like us.
I have a similar thing to that. I think we played here actually, and I got off stage and someone came up to me and asked if I liked Lamb of God, and I'm like, dude, I love Lamb of God. That's crazy that you like ask me that just from like hearing me play.
Yeah,
like they're one of my biggest influences.
We can tell.
Yeah, yeah.
I do have, and I still stand by this, and y'all know that because we've had this conversation several times. Slay Together Fest, when your backing tracks would not play, that was the best
also,
you've ever sounded.
That was another like defining moment for the band because, like I said, like there's a lot of problems that have like we've come across and we just have to push through them.
Yes.
And like there was a moment where like I was like, man, like we can't do this. Like our set is very
I could
heavy on the
see that
electronics.
on your face.
Oh, yeah,
You were
yeah.
kind of just like,
Anxiety.
I was pissed. I was so pissed.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was like, we got to do it. Like everyone's here to see us. Like everyone's inside right now. So like we got to do it. We got to figure it out.
And the clapping with Gothplex
Oh, yeah, that was
instead of
awesome.
electronics, like they took over for us.
And big props to CJ too for like,
Yeah.
our backing tracks weren't working, so he had to come up with stuff on the spot to like fill in empty space or fill in spots where we had like electronics.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it sounded great.
That's the kind of shit that makes you a pro, dog.
When
For
you
real,
push
like,
through
yeah,
it
when
and
you
just
push
do
through
it.
Yeah, that's how you become a professional.
We were originally gonna play a new song, which we are actually scrapping. But we originally were originally gonna play a new song at Slay Together, but the whole beginning part of it is like heavily electronics and then just Steve playing guitar.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way we could play this. Like there's literally no way. So it's just like on the spot we're like, everyone loves the My Own Summer cover. Let's just play it. And so like it was literally just us looking at each other on stage. We're like, what do we do? And I'm just like, My Own Summer, just do it.
But watching y'all, honestly, at Slay Together Fest, watching your crowd control, like you can just you got the crowd wrapped around your finger. You walked across people's hands. If y'all weren't there for that, you fucking missed it. But he walked across the crowd.
The only other person I've ever seen do that is Method Man. Right, that's the only other person I've seen in concert like walk on hands like that. That was-
They're
But
hyping me up right now. Do y'all hear
No,
this?
but
Like,
see-
Ego is
But
growing
see,
by
here's
the
the thing.
by
I
the
did
second.
this after the show, and I told them that, and they were just like, "No, no, we're not." It's like all studs.
well, I mean, yeah, we're giving you all kinds of love right now, but you know, that's kind of what we do. I mean, we want you to feel like rock stars.
That
So
show-
I want you to look. One of the
Yeah.
things I said early on, I want people. The reason why we don't have a big fucking kitchen but we got all that equipment is because I want every one of y'all to walk off stage feeling like a fucking rock star.
hell yeah.
You know, and it's not just you. Everybody that and the opportunities there. You know, we've had bands go up and just kind of stand there and play, and it's
Yeah.
like. Feel the space, dog, and
Yeah.
you guys really do feel the space, and that's part of the reason why you have a following.
Yeah.
Yeah. So enough kissing your ass.
It's not kissing ass. It's just what we were saying earlier is that we know that one of the bands that play here is eventually going to blow up. And
you're starting to.
I would put money on y'all.
Yeah,
I would.
That's
And that's not ass kissing, that's honesty.
All right, so
That's the hope.
that's a good. Thank you for
I
teeing
hope
that
so.
up for me, because that kind of lets me shift gears into the thing that I want to really say to you guys. And Gavin mentioned that you heard me talk about this on another episode of the podcast. And I didn't mention you by name, but you kind of knew I was talking about you. One of the things that we talk to bands about from time to time is like how often they play certain areas, or you get going out and getting on tour and stuff. And I love, like, right now you guys are playing every show that you can. You're getting out there, you're getting your name out there, playing in front of everybody. But at some point, the next step is getting out of this scene and into other scenes and getting other people. Like it's almost selfish of us to just keep you here in Charlotte. Like, other places need to see you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my advice, which, take it or leave it, I don't really know shit, but my advice would be, finish out 2024 strong with as many shows as you can, but then next year, shift your focus, man. Get into other markets. Start hitting college towns.
Touring.
Yes.
And yes, you're probably not going to make any money on tour, but you're going to keep building on what you're doing.
And experience.
Experience.
Yeah.
And just sell a bunch of merch. Just be prepared. Have a bunch of merch
Yeah,
ready for
for
sale, and
sure.
that's how you get from one town to the next. And I want to see it happen for you. And then maybe next year you play 3 or 4 shows in this area, and then imagine what the crowds are going to be like then. You know what I'm saying? You give people a chance to miss you. You come back and you do a show. Yeah, we might not even be big enough for one of those shows. You know what I'm saying? You may have to go to a bigger venue at that point. But that's my hope for you guys, is that I want to see you take that next step and get out and let other territories. Let other areas see you guys and see your show. Yeah, and I hope that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, is our home, man.
Yeah, like we have like sort of a general idea of like how we want to approach like playing shows in the future, like traveling out and touring and all that sort of stuff. And I've really taken that advice that you've mentioned to heart, and I think we're going to pursue that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. You guys are on fire, and you can keep it going. The only people that can really fuck this up at this point is you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
We bring you up to take it out. No, I'm just kidding.
that wasn't intentional. I promise.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, you've got something good going. Like,
for sure.
Just don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we
We're
all
gonna try.
have, like, in our minds, like, we all love each other. This is, like, our finalized lineup. So no matter what struggles we go through, we'll push through it together. And, it's like a brotherhood, like
Well,
us as
that
a
actually
band.
goes back to when it was just us two. We kind of talked about it. We said that what we're looking for in members are people that we mesh well with. Like,
Yeah.
we don't care how good you are at guitar. If you're a total dick, or like you're on hard drugs all the time, or like anything like that, like you just can't contribute to
Just
a
some at
project.
a time.
But it's just like if you can't contribute, the way that we expect, this band to go, then like we don't want you in the band. And so just this finalized lineup, like we're all on board. We want the same thing. We all have the same goals, and so that's why it just works so well. Because we've had members in and out since me and Aiden started it, like that we just didn't mesh well with.
Absolutely.
And that's hard to find too. Like, take it from someone who's been in like several bands. Like, having everyone be on the same page, wanting to do the same thing, accomplish the same goals. That's like difficult. And on top of that, like all get along well, and we all like write similar stuff. Like,
Or at least
it came
complementary.
together like really well for us.
We got lucky for sure. Like, me and CJ, like, he was in a band in middle school, but me and him haven't really ever been in like a project that's taken seriously. And our first project, it may have taken us 1.5 years to find everybody, but now we have like the coolest people in our circle to make music with. Like, it's just fun making music with these guys,
Yeah. Yeah, and hold on to that, because like you're going to get older, you're going to have families, relationships. As long as you don't let ego get in the way, you'll be fine. at some point, some of y'all are going to start having kids and all that, and just, you can keep it going. And
What is the noise?
What was that?
Having kids, we gonna wait till I'm waiting until the dreams.
get the
Come
six,
up.
Dreams
get to the
first.
next
I need
level.
money to support them.
Yeah. Exactly. But
They're still too little.
I keep forgetting how young. But the world's your oyster right now, so is basically what I'm saying. And you talked a little bit about having similar writing style. Talk a little bit about your influences and how it comes through in the music you write.
You want to go down the line?
Start down there. I know Dave.
Start with David.
All right then. I don't know. I'm pretty straightforward. I listen to like deathcore and new metal, so I write bass lines like that pretty much. I straight up copied Fieldy's sound. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, you know,
It's funny. Like we all have like vastly different influences, but we all come together.
Yeah.
Like I listen to like a lot of like, I guess proggy stuff.
yeah.
And Lamb of God.
A lot of Lamb of God. A lot of like groovy technical stuff.
He's always writing that.
Yeah. Sometimes it
play
doesn't
that.
work out.
Well, it's funny with Lamb of God. It's almost like they kind of picked up where Pantera left off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
But yeah.
For me, it's quite obvious because people could hear it, but my main influences are Chino Marino from Deftones and Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon. So I kind of try to mesh my singing style towards Chino's and my screams and yells towards Ollie's and make like something kind of new and original, even though it still sounds like the same, but like a different mesh, I guess.
Yeah. Meshing two interesting vocal styles.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite band is Bring Me the Horizon, but I don't take drumming influences from them at all. Like, I think my influences from them come in our electronics, our stage presence, like the way that they transition between songs. Like I've seen them live 7 times, and every time I watch them, it's just like it's almost like a seamless transition between every single song, and it's more of an experience than it is just playing song to song.
He does all that for us, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like
sound familiar?
He's the one that brainstorms like all of our like live
Yeah,
performances. and
Yeah.
I like Bring Me
Yeah,
the Horizon,
so,
but it took a few albums. The first couple
Yeah, it
albums
did.
I wasn't really into.
I'd say like they're hard to get into, like their earlier stuff. Like if you're just someone that just
casual
listens to
listener.
them, yeah. But the thing that really influences me is their live performance. Again, like I've seen them live 7 times, and it was every single time. It was like that's my favorite concert that I've ever been to. But as far as drumming, Joey Jordison for sure. Yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, Joey.
Rest in peace.
Also, again, as a drummer, stage presence, Eric Imprada from, he was in Fever 333. Now he's in Night Versus and is also starting a second project. But he does the whole like acrobatics and stuff.
Yeah, where you get it from?
My bad. Yeah. So like standing up on my stool, getting up from behind my kit, like climbing shit, like as
You know
a
what
drummer.
you need to get a rack that's got a top bar that you can swing
That can
off
just
of.
hang off of.
Hey, that's a good idea.
I mean, you
But,
already do pretty good jumping up on your throne.
My sister won't leave me alone.
Come on, CJ.
But just as a drummer, like I grew up doing theater and drumline, so like I'm always used to like putting on that performance and moving around and just being behind a drum set. You watch all these drummers; they're really good, but it's like they have no presence. They're hidden behind a kit, and so it's kind of just like
But some of them, if you talk to other drummers, some of them they want that like that wall of
Yeah.
protection. Like they're the most antisocial one of the group.
Yeah,
And you're not like that.
sometimes.
But okay, when you're on stage, you don't use that as your
On
wall.
stage, I become a different person.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
I need
All
to
of
get a
us
drum
do.
cam,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You need to get a drum cam. Start uploading drum
Yeah.
performances to your YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did one time.
Yeah,
and
we-
it was
we have-
really
I don't know if it
cool.
ever got uploaded.
I actually
but
think it was from the second show that we played here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
I have
was.
some drum cams that I just have never uploaded.
I would say like on stage, all of us kind of have like our own thing. Like we all kind of go into like our own world and own zone. Like
You are 100% correct. I've actually picked up on that watching you guys play.
Yeah.
it's just awesome, man. Like it's just
Yeah.
the in the moment feel.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Gavin's got like this coy kind of like quiet boy look, but then he like kind of is also showboating with it. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun. You know,
Yeah.
this guy's all over you, Dave. You're bouncing all over the stage.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, I just bottle up my anger for like everything until whatever show we happen to have, and then I just come out like angry as shit.
Steve's got this move where he makes that face.
Yeah.
He stands still.
He does a
all
stink.
day.
Yeah. Which makes me look like I move even more because he's just standing still.
He needs his wrist back there to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, we're just like completely different people on and off stage. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
works,
much
man.
one and the same, I would say, on and off.
Yeah,
Pretty much
you
for
do.
the
just
most part, yeah.
just me.
It's just a little more amplified on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, the stage is like the only time I feel alive, or like I have like depression personally. So the only time I feel like the music is like all I got to me. So like every time I get up there on stage, it's just like I could be like my true 100% self and
Yeah.
do like. I mean, I have influences like Ali and Chino with my stage presence too, of course. But just be myself. And CJ too. Everybody can kind of speak the same for that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm CJ off stage. I'm Siege on stage.
Siege.
Siege on stage.
Wait, can we do the knuckle crack thing into the mic all at once?
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah, we should do that.
Why would we do
1,
that?
2, 3.
I couldn't get a pop.
I wonder
What
if
was
that
the
works.
purpose of that?
I don't know, because I want to see if it comes up in the podcast, just like a whole bunch of cracks. So when people listen, they're just like, oh, LOL.
We'll do
that's funny.
some of the most random
Yeah.
shit. You know that?
We do.
You do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, dude, we should talk about the E EP.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about the EP. I didn't even realize you had one in the works.
We just dropped an EP.
We dropped the first one.
Yeah, like a
and
week and a half ago, 2
literally
weeks ago.
2 weeks later, we're working on the second one.
Yeah.
In the process of recording.
Yeah. I would.
Awesome.
You want
It's
to?
moving along fast. Well, yeah. Where do we start?
So.
Just like the first tracks on it.
I guess so we started the EP with Gothblix, which we dropped back in October, right?
Yeah.
And then we recorded Wrist and the rest of the EP within like 2 or 3 days. Especially like me vocally, because we were trying to get it out by January, I think, was our goal originally. So I recorded that whole EP personally. I was sick, so we were trying to rush it and get it out there. It was horrible. We went so fast with it, but it was because we really wanted to get it out for people to hear. And what it took, I think it was in production for 5 months, right?
Yeah.
Because we recorded in November, and we finally got it out. And
Like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, it was April 5th on my birthday, which is cool. But I really think for the conditions, we were kind of under all when we recorded it. We made a hell of an EP, but from my standpoint, I'm super excited for the next one. Because we have more time and I'm not sick right now and I record tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
Also, it just occurred to me, all the songs on the first EP, none of them were 100% written by all of us.
Yeah.
That's true too.
So this second EP, all these songs are all 5 of us contributing all together.
So it's completely y'all's baby.
It's completely
Yeah.
ours.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there a noticeable difference with the tone or the sound?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Steve
Yeah.
Different
contributes a
producer
lot.
too.
Yeah, that's kind of what we had in mind for the first 2 EPs as well. We wanted to be able to have all the songs mesh well with each other, but not necessarily the next.
So instead of a disjointed album,
Yeah,
the 2
Yeah.
EPs made
Yeah.
more sense.
All songs sound different.
Yeah.
Vastly
they're
different.
the songs off the first EP they're different, but they're they work well with each other,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how EP2 is, but it's different from EP1 in writing styles and
It's
the
a little
production's
lighter.
the production's gonna be different. It's just we're really excited for EP2.
It's we plan it to be very ambient, and we will have some heavy stuff on there for people who like our hardcore
And
heavy,
the heavy stuff is gonna be heavy.
And the soft stuff is going to be
You
soft.
mentioned that you do have some ambient, even with your performance. It's kind of a vibe you're creating, and this is kind of a layman question, but I'll ask it. You guys are working in electronics and stuff in your music. when you're writing, are you still writing the classic way where you're starting with like a riff or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it differs. I
Yeah.
think it really just depends because
I say for songs that are like more focused on like the melody, like the guitar and the vocals, like it usually starts with that. For
Well,
a lot of our heavier songs, like the one that we just wrote,
The hardcore.
the hardcore one started with a drum track.
Yeah,
it
so,
started with
like-
an idea of a guitar, like ambient guitar sound behind it, but the structure of the song, like it all kind of went off the drum part because it was like this part needs to hit really hard, this part needs to be fast. So I wrote the drum track for that first, and then we finished the rest of it at the next practice.
Yeah. So like with us, like we'll have like a general idea of like how we want to write a song or like what kind of song we want to write. It doesn't always necessarily start with guitar. Like I'd say like Gothplex, Dear Jealousy started with vocals. And we wrote
Wrist did too.
Wristed, yeah.
Wrist did too, yeah. And we wrote the
That's
song
the cut,
around
cut.
the vocals. This one of the new songs we are working on started with drums. Sorry started with
Sorry,
drums.
started with drums.
What
Which-
did the song that we can't talk about start with?
The
Well, we
heavy
can't talk
song
about it,
that
can
we're-
we?
The heaviest song that
You
may or
weren't
may
there.
not be the same. No, I'm saying like, what do we start with when we started writing? The one that we can't talk about
Oh.
that drops the same as another.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that was
that one was all Steve.
Yeah,
I'm
these
fucking
okay.
confused.
next
You've done a very good job of confusing the audience.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Good.
Good.
Next two songs were
Like, are
like
we talking about Fight Club here? You like don't talk about Fight Club?
Yeah,
these next
can't
two
talk
songs
about
were like entirely written by Steve, and we just kind of all put
Touches on them.
touches on
Yeah.
them, like our own thing on them, and that's working really well for
like
us.
for
and-
Aurora, for
yeah.
example.
Yeah, and I think that works really well with us, and we're really excited to put that out because I think people are gonna like it.
Aurora, June 1st, everybody, possibly. I know a lot of y'all are waiting for Aurora. Most likely June 1st, Aurora. The
If I can get my bass fixed in time.
one.
The one where we all turn our flashlights on live.
Yeah,
That's the better one.
Yeah.
to-
Yeah.
That's
that was
fun
a
to
cool.
watch.
Yeah, that's a really cool moment
love
too.
that song,
Yeah,
man.
because not a lot of people do shit like that here. You know.
No.
Oh, dude, did I not tell? Did we? We probably didn't talk about it. It was at Slay together, I think. There was this older guy in here, and we did the Aurora thing. he was vibing the whole show.
He just
and
got
then
so angry.
As soon as we did that, he got mad, and he was like, "That's what Slipknot did." Oh my God! You guys are copycats. And he was like, "Bring back good bands."
Slipknot also played in Drop A Sharp. You mad about that too?
That is one. Of,
Why'd you make him sound like Hank Hill? First of all,
Well, no, dude. If you listen to a video we have of Aurora, you can hear the guy screaming in the crowd.
you can?
Bring back good bands. I'm just like,
that's one of the more annoying things as a venue owner. You know, everybody. You know, I get sucked into a lot of conversations like, you should get, you should get. I get that a lot, and it's like, okay, but the older, like the old heads, I don't know, maybe when I'm fucking 50-something years old, I'll be stuck in some time warp, but I'm still enjoying new shit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm still enjoying new music. I've never been the guy that's like, this is the new metal is the best kind of metal, or anything made before 1989 is. I don't get that mentality. I want to hear all of it.
new metal's awesome.
New metal is awesome.
Yeah, but it's
I also like metalcore. And I like
think
classic
just,
heavy metal.
just being realistic, like metal's gonna die out if it stays the same.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's just
Because
like right,
you can't write Ride the Lightning right
Yeah.
now. No
Like-
one's going to listen to it.
I mean, as soon as they see a 6-minute song, they're like, nah.
Like right now, the big thing is that like people are mixing like R&B with metalcore. Like you got like Sleep Token, Bad Omens, Day
Sleep
Seeker.
Token is nuts.
The plot
Fucking
knew.
Bad Omens. I want to see them so bad live.
So it's like that's the thing that's kind of like blowing up right now in the metal scene. But like I said with my influences, like I try to focus more on the performance, but then also just the overall vibe. And like I also listen to a bunch of like electronic music, so like EDM, witch house music. But I think for like you to really progress like in the metal scene, like you got to do something different. Like
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, there's a band that my wife and I are going to see later this month called Eminence.
Oh, they're
These
really
guys-
good, actually.
Yeah, they're actually a European band, and they're heavy metal, and their lead singer plays violin.
Yep.
And when my wife introduced me to them, when she told me about this band, they play violin. I was like, violin over metal. That's interesting. Let's check it out. Turns out they're fucking awesome, man.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
so good. She drove 8 hours to Pittsburgh to see them on their very first North American tour a few months back. And then, like, literally the week after she went to that show, it announced they were coming to Charlotte.
Man.
But we got tickets anyway because we love them, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. If you can't innovate, like, we've talked to people before about how, like, how do you stay original? Like, it seems like everything's been written. There's only so many notes on the scale. There's only so many different ways to hit them.
Yeah.
And the innovation is to kind of genre mix, and do different, and incorporate different sounds from different types of music into the metal scene. And that's kind of how you innovate, and that's what's happened. I mean, that's what new metal did. New metal took rap and made, rap rock, and some would argue that Rage Against the Machine started that.
They don't claim it.
I would
They
agree
did.
with that
You know?
statement
They wouldn't know.
personally.
What's that?
Rage Against the Machine kind of bringing about even though they're not really new metal, like the age of new metal. And even now you have like new core, which is like new metal and metalcore, which is what some people call us. I'd say more alt metal, like alternative metal. But
Honestly,
When
I
we
don't even
started
really
off,
know
that's
what
like-
to.
yeah,
I don't
it's
even
kinda
know what to
hard.
call ourselves because
Well, see, I
Nobody
try
does.
to steer away from these types of conversations with people because people get like, they get tribal about it. It's
Yeah.
like, this is the.
Get territory.
well, it's
Yeah, they get real, and it's like, dude, I just like metal music.
Yeah,
man. Like,
yeah.
True.
There's new metal bands that I love, and there's new metal bands that I really fucking can't stand.
It's funny though
You know?
because we've
Valid.
actually sometimes it's hard for us to find shows because when people go listen to our music, they're like they're either too heavy or they're not heavy enough.
And nobody knows what to put us on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not like a ton of like bands that really mesh well with like the heavy shit that we do, and then like the light stuff that we do. So it's like we
Yeah.
get put on some weird shows sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I like the lineup you put it together for this show. This
Yeah.
show this Friday, May the 3rd. You're right here at
Yeah.
the Rooster. Get tickets online, save a few bucks.
Yeah.
But Caught Off Guard, they're kind of like a punk pop band, really.
Yeah.
And I really, really do. I mean this when I say I do love the multi-genre shows because it's all, to me, in my mind, they're showcases.
Right.
It's a showcase. Look at all the awesome things happening in the rock and roll scene right now. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. I mean, there's something to be said. Certain like black metal, death metal. You don't want to jump. You don't want to put a pop punk band on a black metal show.
Yeah.
That's a specific type of show.
Yeah.
But when you have bands that are versatile like you are, it's always good to bring in bands that have different sounds. Now, I don't know anything about Sway.
They're shoegaze, pretty much. They're like a
Shoegaze?
shoegaze. They're really good. If you've heard like Momophobia, who we were gonna have on the show originally, they're
Going to be here on the 14th.
their new project is really fucking good. Go listen to that if you haven't. But them and Sway are kind of one of the same, where they have like this heavy shoegaze sound. And I think we kind of mesh well with that because it's up our alley. Not exactly
Yeah.
the same thing, but I'm super excited for Sway on the show. To be honest with you.
And the White Horse, those guys, they're another band that's like putting in work, and they're like what they're out. They're Forest City, right? Or Rutherford?
Shelby.
They know
Shelby?
these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I used to be in the White Horse when I was
Okay.
younger. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Probably
because
parts
the first time they played here, and they've played here a couple times now, and both times they start by covering "Head Like a Hole,"
Yeah,
which
I
is
love
cool.
that cover.
I do too.
Love it. But when the first time they played, I was like, wait a minute, are you going covers? Like I thought they were just going to play like metal songs, which would have been fine. But it's like they do this one cover and then kind of jump into their own. It's almost, it's kind of smart because it like grabs your attention right out the
yeah.
gate.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't love "Head Like a Hole," right?
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
song. And then they kind of draw you in. And then they start doing their thing. It's like, oh man, these guys rock out. So again, great job putting together a cool lineup.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even like the covers, like how they did, like our My Own Summer cover, like that's a pretty heavily covered song. Like a lot of
I
people
really
covered
wish
it.
y'all start covering You've Seen the Butcher. I think you guys are perfect for that song.
Dun dun
man.
dun dun dun
that
dun.
song.
But yeah, it's
Well,
like
it's
even
sexy song, right? It's
And you slowly enter, cause you
on the
know
podcast,
my
on stage.
room.
But yeah, it's
Get it
like
together.
any covers that we do, we try to make it our own in some way. Like, because our My Own Summer cover, we have like that hardcore breakdown in the very middle. Because it's just like, I mean, everyone covers My Own Summer, and you know, it's a great song, but all the covers that you hear are pretty much the same.
Well, it's like it's the same thing for like Simple Man with like cover bands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like who hasn't been to a bar and heard Simple Man?
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like it's a song everybody plays, but yeah, and I even suggested you guys like y'all need to be doing You've Seen the Booty. If you're going to do Deftones, do it right.
Yeah.
And now we need a knife party.
Oh,
that
dude,
was a
I
good
love
one,
that. That's a
too.
great one too.
We're actually doing funny enough, we're doing a Deftones cover set for the Milestone for their like
Halloween thing?
Their Halloween thing. So this year we're gonna do like 7 Deftones songs and dress up as Deftones or whatever.
Sweet.
Awesome.
It's gonna be cool. Should I not have mentioned that? Or is
I
that
don't know.
okay?
No, it's cool because I've mentioned
We're
it
supposed to
before on
be.
the show last year when I saw that when they released that last year's. I was like, fuck, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I was
right.
jealous. I was like, shit, why didn't I think of that? So now I can't do it. So yeah, good doing it to Milestone.
Yeah.
The half Halloween.
You could just do like opposite day shows.
Yeah,
Opposite day
if
shows.
they do
Yeah.
it on a Friday,
elementary
do it
school.
on a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Like the show's actually not today because it's opposite 2 days.
Yeah.
So
It's gotta be
like,
like opposite of your genre. Like we come in and do like a jazz set.
Now
Yeah.
that
do
would
Billie
be
Eilish
opposite of your
for
genre.
CJ. We do
Now, I'll tell you
Billie
what, do a
Eilish.
Thanksgiving
Or
show.
Poppy.
There you
Another
go.
boy
I
band.
was gonna say we just talked about this, but like you do like a boy band tribute.
I'm gonna be Sugar Ray.
Oh, you totally could do that.
Yeah, you could
Dude,
pull that off.
Sugar Ray, like y'all seen the Scooby Doo movie where Sugar Ray's up there? He's like,
Yeah.
like I look like that. Yeah,
But
no.
you got to make sure you get Mark McGrath's like infamous
Yeah.
move of doing this all the time.
He's another one who moans just like Chino, so I think I could probably do it.
But I'm like, why was this his go-to dance move?
I don't know, dude. Like,
You know
anyway,
what? I had a funny thought. I don't know if I should say it.
Say it.
It sounds
Say
like
it.
he's dancing with cougars. You know, like,
I
CJ,
can just see you up there going, someday.
talk about your love for Poppy and how we should do a Poppy cover set.
Oh, Poppy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna be straight up. Like I love Poppy, and like she's a very attractive woman and a very talented person, but like I pull a lot of my inspiration from her just because of like her stage presence, like even her social media presence. She's very weird. Like if you go back and watch like the early 2000s Poppy videos on YouTube, like they're just very uncanny, and you know
You're blushing.
I am.
I've never really seen you do that. When
that's
he
crazy.
said Poppy, you were like,
Poppy.
he went all like glassy eyed.
Poppy, if you ever
Poppy,
see
get
this,
at him.
if you
Yeah,
ever
you
see
don't
this, Poppy,
understand.
Yeah.
my man right here.
Poppy, let's collaborate. But
Collaborate.
No, Poppy, like, just the way that she does her music. I mean, you go listen to one album, it's super, super heavy, and then you go listen to another one, it's like internet, like radio pop, and it's just like she's kind of like innovating the metal scene just as herself right now. Like, she just released a song with Knocked Loose.
Yeah.
And a song with Bad Omens, but then like you go all the way back and listen to her early stuff, it's like you would never have seen that coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like
there are some people that want to shit on artists that like change their sound up and like will do different things, and I don't get that mentality. You know, if you understand artists, you understand like you evolve, you experiment more than anything, and you know, experimenting has gotten a lot of bands into trouble. My
Yeah.
generation, if you stepped out of your sound, you would get shit on.
Right.
yeah.
You know,
Sell
like,
out.
That's goodbye,
say
your
that happened
career.
with Pearl Jam. It happened with Stone Temple Pilots. You know, a lot of the bands that were heavy or that were really huge in the early '90s, you know, didn't get the recognition for their later albums because they experimented and did different stuff.
Because it didn't stay in their
Because
lane.
it stayed.
Yeah.
But now I think it's like the internet kind of changed all that. And, you know, we all have all kinds of shit inside of us that need to get out. And sometimes it's going to be heavy. Sometimes it's going to be ambient. Sometimes it's going to be poppy. And I got no problem with that. You know, at all. So is your next album going to be a pop album?
Funny enough, I don't know if I should mention it.
Go ahead.
Dude, I don't even know what
Well,
you're
we have a song that we're gonna have collaborating with several different artists
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
in different genres.
good.
They're all going to
Yeah.
contribute.
I think that's great.
They're going to contribute onto this one song that we're making. So I'm not telling you who's on it. I'm not telling you what the song is. But yeah, it's a song written about the community, for the community, about friends, with our friends.
Fucking right on,
That's
dude.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't even matter what genre they're in. It's like they have the same vision that we have, and like we've been there for each other, we've supported each other, and so like that's kind of how that whole song is going about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great. We should probably wrap up soon. Y'all, that's a great way to. I want to end on a high note, man. Is there anything else you want to promote or tell the audience? Anything you want to share before
The
we get out of
Flies EP just released April 5th. Go listen to it. Let us know if you like it or you hate it.
Yeah.
Preferably if you like it, though.
Yeah, preferably if you like it. If you hate it, just don't say anything.
Yeah, just keep that to yourself.
Headlining show here, May 3rd.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we also are doing an anniversary show, most likely June 1st, hopefully. It'll be a house show if everything goes as planned. So we hope to see you guys soon.
I'm telling you, folks, catch these guys now while you can,
Yep.
because there's a good chance we won't be able to afford them anymore in the very near future.
Maybe they'll come back and do it as a favor.
Slipknot just went back to the very first venue that they played last week. So,
Yeah, I would love to come back to like venues that we've played at when we
Yeah,
were like
absolutely.
So
smaller.
That would be like a giving back thing because you would know that you could draw and
Yeah.
pack the house.
Yeah.
Well, we love you guys.
No,
too.
what we would do is we would just do it outside and get a piece.
Right? Yeah, y'all would be the headliner for like Brewstock or something.
Y'all brag on us. Let us brag on you. We love you guys. You guys treat
Yeah.
us very well and are very kind to us, and we
Rooster
appreciate that.
is the best venue.
Well,
that
I
we
am
One of
now.
the most
Y'all got on my
welcoming
nerves at
venue I have
first.
ever played.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you for that, fellas. I appreciate it.
But we do love you.
We love you guys. Thanks again for doing this. I really appreciate it. Be here this Friday, May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Peace and love.
There's a camera there,
Yeah.
camera there, and a
Sorry,
camera
I
there.
can't-